Okay, you got another plasma TV here. This one's an LG. Yeah, it's kind of dirty. It's been sitting here for a while. I've had this one probably sitting in here for probably close to a year now. This one was given to me. I just haven't done anything with it. I figure since I got the Panasonic one going in the last video, maybe we can get this one going as well. This one here, hit the power button. Green light flashes. But I don't see anything on the screen. No menus, no inputs, no nothing. I'm going to take this one apart and see whether this uses those hybrid ICs. The good chance, if this is one of the sets that uses those hybrid modules, that it's not going to be repairable, and this one's going to get turfed. Because those LG sets that use the hybrid power modules, they weren't the most reliable ones to begin with. That's why they stopped using them after a short period of time and went back to discrete components. The IPMs, as they call them, integrated power modules, were just a joke. Everything that used them, the old Sony projection TVs that used them for the convergence, they were the most unreliable sets. So if this is an IPM based unit, and it's going to be probably it'd probably be the Z sustain more than likely, but we'll see. We'll get the back off this thing and just take a look at the design of this one and see whether I can do anything on this set or whether this one's going to be one heading off to the recycler as I clean up some of the garbage around here and get rid of some of the stuff that's not repairable. As expected, this is a set that uses the IPM integrated power modules. That's what is under these big heat sinks here. Right here and here. This one's the Z sustain, or your common mode sustain. This one here is the Y buffer. And a very common failure on these is these modules blow up. And we can test them by just checking the fuses and seeing if the fuses are popped. Now, I know the history of this set. It belonged to my neighbor. It didn't have a good picture on it when I saw it running last. It had a lot of noise in the picture, and it just looked crap. When their TV blew up on them, I took them a set that I had been given and just traded them. Gave them a set that I had, another 42, I think it was a 42 LG plasma like this. It was a Hitachi branded one that I got given to me a couple years ago, and it had a better picture. So I said, here, you know what? I've got one. You want mine? You can have mine. I'll get rid of yours for you. Now, these caps are all popped, so it might be just a power supply problem on this. See, all these tops are blown, so we might get lucky. If it's just the caps are popped, then we might be able to get this one working. But let's check the fuses and see if these fuses are popped. If the fuses on the sustain boards are bad, then the board itself is shot, and I'm not going to continue. I'll just scrap it at that. But let's check the fuses out. So there's two fuses on the Y sustain board. Fuse is good. Fuse is good. That's a good sign. There's two more of them over here on the other board, wherever it's hiding. Two more of them are over here. And we'll check this fuse here. Ah, fuse is good. And, uh-oh, that fuse is bad. That's a bad sign. So, more than likely, this IPM is popped. We'll pop a new fuse in there and just see whether the set does anything or whether it goes boom. And if I can pop a fuse in there and get some sort of a picture, then we'll look into the power supply on this one. But if it's the IPM that's gone, then as I say, I don't have one of these boards. I did have one of these Z sustain boards, but I used it to fix somebody else's TV. So I don't have one now. And this is not a full HD set either. This one here is, I think it's a 720, this TV. So it's not a real high-end one. And it's old. It's 2006. Put the new fuse in. Okay. We'll turn this set around and see whether I get anything different. It's either going to pop the fuse right away if the IC is shorted, or it's going to work. And if it comes on and gives me a bad picture, that'll give me some hope as far as fixing the power supply. Okay, the moment of truth. Is it going to work, or is it going to go boom? I think we know the answer. Just blew the new fuse. And that's a $2 fuse I just blew up. But we know that the problem with the set is the IC is shot. Actually, you know what? There's this bit of a picture there. It's actually working. It's working with the... you can see some color bars there. If I kill the lights, it's actually working with the bad or Z sustain board. You can see color bars. They don't look very good. Actually, they look horrible. But that's a symptom of the bad. What LG called the Z sustain. Samsung would call it the X main, and Panasonic call it the SS board. Is it going to go pop again? Not very pretty. But hey, doing something. Did make a nice bang there though. That wasn't expected. Actually, when I made a big bang there, I didn't expect the set to actually give any type of a picture. But it's pretty bad. There's no green either, eh? White, yellow, cyan. The green is missing completely. Magenta, red, and blue are the colors. But yeah, it's not looking too good. This one's likely gonna meet Mr. Magnetron and give us a light show, or go to the recyclers. We'll tinker around with this one a little and see whether I can coax any more out of it, but I'm pretty sure that IPM is just completely foobarred. What is interesting is that the new fuse did not pop. There's the new fuse there, and there's the other one. So that big bang came from an arc somewhere. I'm going to pull this board and just see if there's any bad connections on here that could have made that noise. Because this is the board that's bad. When you see this type of a symptom on one of these plasma TVs, doesn't matter what brand it is, if you see a dim picture, it's going to be the common sustain. This is the board that generates all the power to maintain the discharge through the common tabs, right? These are all connected. These are solid. These are all connected together. So it's going to be this board that's at fault. But I'll pull this board out and we'll take a look at it and just see if there's anything, maybe a connection or something. You definitely heard that loud snap there, so I don't know where it arced because I wasn't looking around the back when it did it, but somewhere something's arcing. And I mean, these caps are definitely bad, but unless I know I can get a picture out of this thing, I'm not going to waste my time changing those all out. So this is the what LG call the Z sustain, the Z sus, as you can see here, which is the common mode sustain board. All the connections are connected together to the panel. Here's the connectors that come out of the drive IC here. What I'm going to just do on this is I'm just inspecting to see if there's any cold solder connections on here. I doubt that that's the problem. I'm almost 100% sure that the IC is itself a shot. I'm just going to try reflowing these connections and we'll see whether we get any change at all in the picture. If not, again, it's this IC that's bad. It's a pretty common failure on these sets. I've seen them fail before. That's the symptom that they have when they're bad. And I'm not going to bother replacing this one just because the part itself is more expensive than the set is worth. And that's what it boils down to. Is a TV like this, I could maybe sell it for $50 for a gaming machine, and it's just not worth it. Plus, the power supply still has to be dealt with as well, right? So because of that, I'm just going to go over these connections here that look like a few of them might be a bit dry, and we'll try it once again and see whether I get any improvement. Okay, I've gone over what looks, well, I've gone over a lot of them on the bottom here, and yeah, I'm not proud of some of these connections either. We'll see if it makes any improvement to this at all. I highly doubt that I'm going to see any change whatsoever, because I'm pretty sure that this IC is shot. It goes bad on them all. I've seen several. In fact, I think one of the first plasma sets I ever looked at, I don't remember if there was ever a video made for it or not. It was an old Akai, and it was never repaired. And it was, it had a bad Z sustain board in it. So I gutted it for the Y sustain and used that in another set that I fixed. And then another one I had that was bad, I gutted the Z sustain out of to fix another one. But I had another set come in with a bad Y sustain. Anyway, we'll put this one in and see whether it makes any difference. I'm not hopeful it's going to do anything, just in case one of these connections wasn't making a good connection, and that's why it wasn't working. But the fact that the fuse was blown initially tells me that something shorted in here, and it went bang and cleared that short, and now it's no longer shorting, but we're not getting any output from this. This is what charges up the panel. It creates the precharge that gets discharged by the Y buffer and Y sustain board, and triggered by the, in this case I think they call it the A board on here, or C board anyway. Let's put this in and just see whether it makes any difference. I would say it just went boom again. And there's no video at all from it now. Nothing. No color bars. Nothing. This thing is shot. You don't hear any buzz or anything from the Z sustain operating. Normally you hear like a 60 hertz buzz from that. Nothing. It's dead. Needs a Z sustain board. I'm going to leave this one open for you guys. You gotta let this one sit for a bit, and we'll see if one of my viewers has a Z sustain board they want to donate to me. We'll put it in here and get this going. I'm not going to put any money into it, but if someone's got a Z sustain board they want rid of, if they want to donate it to my channel, we'll fix this TV. Other than that, I'll leave it up to the comments what you guys want me to do with it. If you want me to end of life this thing and light this thing up like a fireworks display, we can do that too. Anyway, we know what the problem with this is. I have to rebuild the power supply, but I need a working Z sustain board before I do that. So I'm going to leave it at that. Before I end this video, I just want to show you guys that my power supply is putting out the correct voltage. Our power supply voltages on this are supposed to be 60 volts and about 184 volts. So here we go. Yeah, that's going to really measure well. Here we go. 58.2. That's close enough. 181. So power supply voltages are correct. Need one of these boards. If you guys got one of these things, great. Otherwise, as I say, let me know in the comments as to what I should do with this thing. If it's going in for recycling, we'll send it off first in a spectacular display. And otherwise, till next time, catch you later.